welcome to the channel, and thanks for joining me today for this look at Suffer Little Children by the Smiths from the first album. This has been requested by a number of you. It's an amazing song. It's about a very chilling subject matter, and it's a very haunting song done very beautifully. Some lovely guitar parts, some beautiful lyrics actually as well. We're going to break it down as always. We'll get nice and close up, look at all the parts. A lot of you have asked for other Smiths songs and Johnny Marr material, so please bear with me. I'm working through these requests. I'll look at them. I like to try and get them as accurate as I can before I release the videos, otherwise you get people saying, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, and that kind of thing. So I do try to get them as accurate as possible, and so I don't want to put these things out too quickly. I want to just take a little bit of time myself just to make sure I'm happy with the content before I publish. I should just say before we get going, if you're enjoying these lessons, then please give me a like, ring the bell, and perhaps consider subscribing to the channel. There's a growing number now. It's still a very small channel, nice little community of guitar players, which I'm really pleased about. I'm really pleased to see it growing. But you know, please do that. You'll get to see new content as and when I release it. And also, it's not a Smiths only channel. I know the posters behind me might suggest that it is, but I'm going to look at all sorts of content on this channel for electric and acoustic guitars. So I also try to do a balance between that, but the scale seems to be tipping with demand towards Smiths material at the moment. Also, I've just started a new playlist within the channel for beginners looking at basic chords. So I thought for my loyal followers and subscribers, I'll give you some more Smiths this week. As always, we're going to break down each part of the song, so let's get nice and close up and you can see what's going on. Okay, there we go, nice and up close now. So standard tuning for this one. Capo at the 2nd fret, as is typical of a lot of Smiths material, and tone wise I've got that classic jangly Smithsy sound. So a tiny bit of crunch, just a very tiny bit, a little bit of delay, a bit of chorus and tremolo. I've mentioned that before whenever I do these videos, but that's how I get that sound. I use Boss pedals, which I find especially the chorus gives me the kind of sound I'm after for this. I'll just play through the underlying chords, and then I'm going to break down the main guitar part. Just goes round in a loop really. I'll break it down into 3 or maybe 4 sections, but the underlying chords to it are a C major 7, and then it goes down to a kind of G root really. Not sure it's a full G, but you're certainly playing on the 5th and 6th strings there, the 3rd and 2nd fret from the capo. And then we have an A minor 7 chord, and goes up to a C. So they're the kind of core component parts, if you like. So I'll play through the first measure of the song. It sounds like this. So all I'm doing there at the root of it is moving from that sort of C major 7 shape that I showed you with my 1st and 2nd fingers there, sort of up and down between that and the G, and I'm just plucking the individual strings, starting on the A string, and then the D string, and then an open G. So that's the first part, and then we move it down, and as we move it down, I'm going to put my little finger on the D string at the 4th fret there, that note. So we get this. And then from there we're going to strike the A string again, and then another open G. So all together, slowly. We then go through that again, but we strike the open B string instead of the open G string. So it sounds like this. You'll notice that even though I'm playing the root parts of, like, if you like, a C chord and a G chord there, I'm using my first and second fingers so that my pinky is free to hold down this D string here. Otherwise it'd be awkward because you'd be sort of swapping back and forth. So I think it's just more efficient to do it that way. So altogether, that motif with the open G string first and then the open B string played slowly sounds like this. It goes back to the open G string on the second time. Got this. So that's the first part of the motif. In the second part we go to this A minor 7 shape. So I'm holding B there at the first fret, the D string at the second fret, and then an open strumming from the A string really, A minor 7. And all I'm really doing is playing the A minor 7 and catching the A, D and B strings. Then I'm putting my third finger down on the C note there on the third fret of the A string. So. But as I get to the top, I take my first finger off the B string. So I'm still plucking those same strings as I did before, the A, D and B. That's the first measure. And then the second one. Hard to explain that, but hopefully that's making sense now. And then with my second finger on the G string at the second fret, just going to hold that note there and then play an open first string. So that part play through slowly. And at speed. You can almost take all your hands away from the chord once you've held down that C position. Okay, so difficult to explain, far easier to play than explain, but hopefully it makes sense. Altogether, so far we've got this. So I think I've covered the first two motif parts of this there. The third motif sounds like this. Okay, so it's based around kind of A minor. If we play an open A string, then B string at the first fret, on and off. Like a pull off really, you don't pluck it twice. And then an open G string. And then I'm going to hold down the G string at the second fret with my second finger. And then an open E string. And then we just rake down E, B and G. see that? And then we go to this chord. I'm holding down, not sure what the chord is, but it's holding down the D and A strings. So I'm just plucking the A string, then the D, and then an open G. And then we just take that down to the 3rd fret and we play A, D, A. And then B string on and off at the 1st fret. This is challenging me explaining this. It's far easier to play. It's pretty easy to play. So let's have another go. So for this 3rd motif, sounds like this. The 4th and last guitar part for this main guitar chord sequence sounds like this. So I'm playing G on the 3rd fret, A2, open G string, then an open A string, then I'm going to go to this A minor 7 chord. So far we've got this. So A minor 7 chord there, just holding on the B, B1 and D2. So I'm using that open A string as a kind of passing note really, before I strike D2. And then we just open A string, just walk up from open to 2 to 3 on the A string. And that becomes a C chord then. And then we slide that up. So I've now got my 3rd finger on the 5th fret from the capo there. So having landed on that C chord there, we're going to slide up, we play an arpeggio first. So I'm striking A, D on the B string. Just slide it up and then we play an open G and E string. And then the G and E. Right, so putting together all those 4 separate parts now from the top sounds like this. The nice easy chords, easy parts, but the difficulty is just keeping it rolling and keeping it regular. Okay, so that chord sequence from the start goes round and round, almost in a loop, and I have recorded it onto my loop station. Play through it in a moment. There's some guitar overlays that go above it, and the first of those, they're quite simple, but the first one is just on the B string at the 5th fret. just on and off twice, and then down to the 3rd fret, on and off twice there, and then we go to G2 to an open B string, and then B1, 2 measures on the open string, back to G2, and then an open 1st string. So all together. Right. Second time you play through that, it's very slightly different. So instead of just going on and off on the B, we go down to the 3rd fret straight away like this, and then we go from the 3rd fret to the open string. The rest of it's just the same, so all together it sounds like this. The next section of guitar overlay is kind of double stop part, so we're at B5, but I'm also holding down the G string at 5 as well. We get the punctuating with the palm of your hand. You don't want it sort of, you want it nice sort of punctuated section. Then we go down to B3 and G4. To an open G string. And then B1 on and off. So B1 on and off. And then so quickly on G and B at the 5th fret, back to our second position there, B3, G4, then back on at the 5th fret, and then slide up to 7, holding down the G and B strings. So and then a single D5 from the capo, just to finish it. It's not really important, it's just an ending note. Okay, second time it goes round, it's exactly the same, but it ends slightly differently. Instead of ending on that, we get this. So I'm just holding my pinky on E string 12th fret of the guitar, that is, and the B string at the 7th fret from the capo, 9th fret of the guitar. Sounds a bit weird, but it is right. And then we go to first string at the 9th fret of the guitar, and the B string at the 10th fret of the guitar. stops. I think the first one, I think the second one goes. It's just a slight difference. I think I forgot to mention that, but it's the same notes. Those are the guitar parts for Suffer Little Children. Beautiful arrangement, lovely layering of guitars, beautiful poetic lyrics as well, handling such a difficult subject matter. I hope you'll enjoy working on those guitar parts and playing them. It's very, very Smithsy, very Johnny Marr. I love the first album. It's still probably my favourite. I think it's the album that most defines the band. So I hope you do enjoy playing through that. Please let me know what you think. And in the meantime, enjoy your guitar playing, and I'll see you very soon.